Hey guys. Hi. It feels so weird to be speaking to you guys like by myself because it has been so long since I filmed on this channel. I'm so sorry. There was actually a reason for it. Basically I broke my camera. I smashed my camera really badly and then I put it in for repairs. I thought repairs were going to take a couple of days and I put it in when I got back from Paris. It's finally fixed. I had so much content planned for before Milan. I had so much content planned and then I just couldn't film any of it because I didn't have a camera. But oh well, I'm back now. Because I've not spoken to you guys for literally so long, I thought I would start today with a Q&A because I feel like there's so much to catch up on, especially if you don't like watch my main channel. I feel like there's so much that's been missed. If I take this coat off, it feels like I'm about to film an apology video. Like this angle is giving apology energy. When are you traveling again? This is the question I keep getting. Is like, okay, when are you going next? When are you traveling next? Basically, we are taking February off traveling, and the reason for that is because we're actually doing something so exciting behind the scenes, and you guys will know by the end of February, which is why we're not really traveling in February. However, we have quite a big trip planned for March. It's not going to be a month, because the location is quite remote. I don't know, it's very hard to describe to you guys. We always like do these big reveals, so I don't want you guys to know where it is, but that is basically the reason. Because February we're not traveling. We were planning to do a little trip, but I'm not sure if that's going to go ahead because we just have so much on. March we have a big trip, but it's not going to be for a month. That's all you need to know. Alright, what are you going to do after your gap year? This is actually a really good question. Grace and I are actually planning on moving. I can't remember if we've said where we're moving to or not, or if that's going to be a big reveal as well. I actually can't remember if we've said where we're moving to, so I'm not going to say where, but if you watch our vlogs maybe you know, maybe we have said. But yeah, we're actually planning on finishing this gap year at the end of December, maybe going into January, and then February time we plan on moving out, which is crazy. And it's not going to be somewhere near. I can't remember if we said where we're going. Yeah, it's not going to be somewhere near where we live at the moment, so it's going to be a big move. That's what we plan on doing, moving out officially, which is so exciting because you've got to think I'm 20 this year, which is like a disgusting thought, but I'm literally 20 this year. So a lot of people my age would have already moved out and gone to uni, but obviously I have not done that. So yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. What's dating like on your gap year? This is a question I get all the time. It's my mum.
Okay, so the Hoover.
Okay. I could feel your energy just standing outside my door.
Yeah,
I could feel your energy. I could feel her energy. Dating is really interesting in different countries because it's just so different everywhere you go. Like, it's really interesting. I feel like people have this like misconception of me and Grace that like everywhere we go we've been on like a million dates. It's really not the case. Like in France I only went on one date, Grace didn't go on one. In Milan, Grace went on 2 dates, I didn't go on one. So like I think people have this misconception that we're going on like a million dates, which is, it's not the case. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just not the case at all. Like we've literally been going on like 1 date per city. The reason we have so many story times is because when we go clubbing we meet people, but it doesn't mean we go on dates with them, you know? I find dating really interesting depending on where you go because you meet so many different people. Like it's so interesting. Like even in like Milan, I didn't even meet any Italian boys. I just met people from all different like places that were in Italy for some reason. I think it makes it so much more interesting, and I think it's really opened mine and Grace's kind of mindset. It's given us so much more experience because we don't really find people attractive from our area. Like we don't really find the Essex boy very attractive. So actually going on dates, it's really made us kind of see like what we like, what we don't like. It makes a lot of very interesting stories for you guys. That's what dating's like. It's very interesting. You guys will hear more about that soon. How do you afford all the trips to Paris and Milan? Good question. I won't lie, they are very expensive. Grace and I knew this, that we knew that like this year was going to be a big spender and a lot of money was going to go into our gap year, and we were very much aware of that, which is why I think we haven't really been shocked, because like I knew I was going to be spending a lot of money on this trip. But we've kind of seen it as like an investment in a way, which I know is kind of weird to think of it like that. You guys find it so much more interesting when Grace and I go away to like Paris for a month, Milan for a month, and vlog and do Instagrams and TikToks, and you guys find that a lot more interesting. It's hard to keep an audience. This is the truth of it. Like, we started when we were 12 years old and we're now nearly 20. Like, it's a very big gap to keep an audience interested in you. If we're bored of like our little city lives, imagine how bored you guys are of seeing it all the time. Like, we had to just do something else, and we really done it for us. Like, this is the best thing I think I could have done for myself, was this gap year, and it also makes you guys a lot more interested. But with the whole affording thing, you guys being more interested means brands want to work with us more, because people are more interested in our content. So we kind of have seen it as an investment. Like, yes, we're spending a shit ton of money in Paris, but more brands are going to want to work with us in Paris because it's more interesting. Grace and I did a photo shoot in Paris, which, there's the image. And I mean, that alone was very expensive, but just that image has made a lot of brands want to work with us. So yes, it's a big investment, but you get stuff back from it, and you do take risks. Like, Grace and I did a photo shoot in Milan, hated all the images, and that was very expensive. Like, you do have to take risks. I mean, just the accommodation alone is a shit ton of money. Like, we spent half the price on our Milan apartment than we did for our Paris, because Paris was extremely expensive, if you guys remember. But even the half the price was still a shit ton of money. And then you have to think about things like dinners. We eat out a lot, because it's hard when you're like in somewhere new, because you're like, I'm only here for a month, like I need to experience all these restaurants, so you end up spending a shit ton of money there. Clubbing is really expensive, drinks, you have to buy groceries every single week, which me and Grace never usually do, so that's an expense. Ubers, like if you're in a different city, you're not going to want to walk at night or get the tube, so you pay for Ubers, which is extremely expensive. Like, everything does really add up. You just kind of have to be like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm so young, like when am I ever going to have this opportunity again? So it's hard to part with the money though. Have you ever had a boyfriend? Would you go for an open relationship? That's really interesting. No, I've never had a boyfriend, and no, I've never go for an open relationship. Definitely not. I just don't think I could deal with that. I'm not a jealous person at all. Like, I really am not, but it just wouldn't interest me at all. I don't think I'm a big relationship person, which I know is weird to say because obviously I've never been in a relationship, so maybe I would be. But I'm a very independent person. Like, I value my time so much, which is why I just don't think I'm a relationship person, because you have to put so much time to someone else. And I'm very independent. Like, my favourite time of all is when I'm by myself. So I don't know how it would work with a boyfriend. And also, it just wouldn't work this year, because I'm literally not going to be in London for a majority of this year, and I'm travelling to all different countries, so it just would not work having a boyfriend this year. Okay, I always get this question, always, and I try to avoid it because I know it can be a real trigger for some people. But I have answered it once on my story, but I kept it extremely brief because I just know it's such a trigger. But that question is, how did you lose weight? I get that question all the time. I actually have considered doing a whole separate video on it. So let me know if you guys want that video. Although again, I'm very cautious around the subject because I don't want to say the wrong thing or get someone upset. I know it's an extremely sensitive subject for so many people, especially girls. But let me know. How I lost weight. If you guys don't know, I was never like big. I was around a size 12, around a size 10 to 12. So I was never big or anything like that. And I actually was never insecure. Like, I never thought, I never felt chubby, I never felt fat, I never felt anything. Until like one day I was just feeling a haul. And I was just like, I don't like what I look like. I was looking back at the videos and I was like, I don't like my appearance. People think I lost weight really quickly, which is not the case at all. It's because I did it in lockdown. So I suddenly like came out of lockdown, saw all my friends, and everyone was like, you've lost a lot of weight, but it was actually really, really gradual. Actually, let me figure out when I started losing weight. I think it was around February or April of 2021. I didn't go to the gym once. I never went to the gym. I've only started going to the gym recently, and it's not to lose weight. It's just, it makes me feel a lot better and healthier. But all I did was change my diet. That's literally all I did. As you guys know, I'm vegetarian, but I would eat a lot of like pies, cheese bakes, pastries. That's basically all I would eat, which I still eat all the time. I just eat it in moderation now. Basically the biggest change I made was I started cooking my own dinners. I would just eat like packet meals and like pastries from the freezer. So I started actually making my own dinners. I make them really, really healthy and like full of vegetables and fruit, which I never used to eat. And that's basically like how I changed my diet. Literally was just cooking my own food. That was the biggest difference I made. And then I started going to the gym well, not recently. I've probably been going to the gym for about 4 months, 5 months now, and literally all I do is the treadmill for 40 minutes and that's it. I do get that question a lot, which is why I wanted to answer it, but again, I'm just very, very wary when talking about weight because it's something that really does trigger me. Like, I don't like talking about my weight. I don't like other people mentioning my weight or anyone mentioning even weight in general, because I know it's such a tough subject for so many girls and so many people have struggled with their weight. It's weird because I'm probably the skinniest I've ever been, but I'm still like the most self-conscious now because now I'm so aware of my weight. I don't know. It's a very touchy subject. On the same kind of line, someone said, how do you cope with your insecurities? Because I constantly have to take pictures of myself, I'm constantly like editing myself and like looking at my face, it definitely makes you a lot more aware of your insecurities because you're staring at them 24/7. And if you don't know what you look like, that sucks because you've got to take pictures of yourself and constantly look at yourself. There are a couple things on my face that I've always been insecure about, and I've actually like taken this year and I'm changing those things because I don't know, it's a hard subject, like plastic surgery and stuff like that, and even like filler and things like that. But I'm so for it. I'm like, if you've got an insecurity and you want to change it for yourself and you're happy to do that, then why not? And there's just a couple of things on my face I've always been very insecure about that I'm changing this year. So for instance, one of them is this spot on the side of my nose. I absolutely hate it. It's like one of the things I hate most about my face, and I've had it since I was about 12 years old, so I've just had to deal with it like my whole teenage year. It's probably one thing I'm most insecure about. I absolutely hate it on my face, and it's wild because so many people, when I tell them I'm very insecure about it, don't even notice I have it. I've actually taken the steps and I am going to a plastic surgeon tomorrow to get it removed. I know, pretty wild. Like, it literally happened. I was sat down at Christmas and I was talking to my auntie about how insecure I am about it on my face, and I was just like, I hate it, like it makes me hate my face, I don't like facing this side, like it makes me so insecure. And she was just like, then why don't you just get it removed? And I was like, do you know what, I've never even thought about getting it removed. I just kind of thought I had to deal with it. So I messaged a plastic surgeon who was in my area, booked in an appointment, and I'm going tomorrow to get it removed. I'm actually going to vlog the whole thing because it's my first time getting plastic surgery. I'm going to vlog the whole thing and the whole process tomorrow. But yeah, that's one thing that I've always been very insecure about, but I'm actually changing. Are you 100% happy and proud of the content you've put out? I feel like you and Grace have upped your game. Thank you. I mean, for a very long time I wasn't very happy with what I was putting out. When I finished school and I went to fashion college, that was like quite a hard time to do any content because we were kind of like stuck in our villages, stressed out with college work, and then like was like worn out all the other days, didn't really know what to film. And especially when we like finished college, I think that was a really hard period as well because you guys really enjoyed like college vlogs. So once we finished college and then we didn't have anything else on, we were kind of like, but I think now we're on this gap year, you guys are enjoying our content a lot more, which is so nice. And I love like watching you guys interact with the content. That's probably my favourite thing, is like reading your guys' comments and I feel like we've created a real like community. Like even in the Paris vlogs, I was talking about how I went on a date with this boy and I forgot to tell the story time. I didn't think it would be a big deal, but you guys were so like invested in the whole thing. For like weeks later, all we would get comments on was that I need to tell the story time, and I love that because it's like you guys actually care and you're getting into the content. I just love it. So I feel like we've really upped our game since going on the gap years, but that's why we kind of like recluse when we get home, because literally on these gap months we film every single day, we do pictures every single day, and then when we get home we like become recluses. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more question. What is it like living with Grace? Does she get annoying? This question made me giggle. I mean, it was really interesting because Grace and I have never lived together. The most we've ever done together is a week on holiday. That's literally it. I was kind of like, not nervous, but I was just more like intrigued and like interested to see how Paris was gonna go, because obviously Paris was our first month away, our first time living together. So I was like, okay, this is our make or break, because you could have best friends and not gel living together. Like I have best friends, but I know I couldn't live with them. So it was very interesting, Paris. But honestly, she was an amazing roommate. We had the best time living together, the funniest memories. We would just like dance and sing, and we would just have the best times. Like every single night, if we weren't going out, obviously, she would make me a tea, I'd get us like chocolate, we would pick a rom-com, sit on the sofa with a duvet and our teas, watch the rom-com, and just have a really great time. We really could have drove each other up the wall, like living with someone for a month, especially because like all we had in Paris was each other. So every single day we spent with each other. It's not like we had friends or family that we could like go off for a couple of days and like have time apart. Like we literally just spent every single minute together, and we just had the best time. We had the best time. Same in Milan, we had such a great time. I love living with Grace. We just gel really, really well. We actually are very different living styles. I'm like neat freak, extremely need everything to be in a particular place, can't leave my stuff around, and then Grace is like throws everything everywhere. But it almost works out because I'm like, I kind of nag Grace and I'm like, Grace, like, do you want to clean your like week old cup? And then she like calms me down. So we really work together, I think. Okay guys, that is all the questions for today. That's everything you guys sent in and you guys wanted to know, the most popular questions. And I've really enjoyed filming this, and I'm very, very excited to be back on this channel. So after this, the next video will be my plastic surgery video and the whole recovery and everything about that, because I'm actually awake when they do it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!